The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the nation still reeling after another brazen shooting kills a young man on Saturday. What's vexing for many of you is that the shooting happened in front of the man's young child. Also tonight, Prime Minister Davis and Abaco at a Haitian church. Why? Well, apparently to tell them of their role in keeping the Bahamas safe. Also, just how many Bahamians are employed on the construction site of the Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines project. Are they outnumbered, Bahamians that is, by foreigners? Also later tonight, the Small Business Development Center, SBDC, is here to share with you the amount of programs ready for rollout to get you empowered for business this year. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. A family is grieving tonight after their loved one was executed in cold blood on Saturday morning. It was a brazen shooting caught on CCTV and has left the nation in shocked disbelief. Tonight, questions linger over whether the victim, a young father in his 20s, was the intended target or an innocent life tragically taken due to mistaken identity. We get the story from Jose Etienne and then we come back and discuss.
Days after young father Quintero Arnett was callously gunned down in front of his daughter, questions continue to swirl about whether he was the intended target or if the bullets were meant for someone else. Sources allege that the real target may have been an accused killer.
We've heard that, but we have not confirmed that at this point. When we are able to confirm that that person was not the intended target, and we feel the need to bring that to the community, we will certainly do so.
While police investigate and a manhunt is underway for the 4 gunmen caught on surveillance footage, outraged residents are demanding justice. Many are calling for authorities to prosecute the assailants to the fullest extent of the law, especially given that they continued firing with Arnett's daughter just feet away, a child who barely escaped death herself.
I believe in the justice system, and we will, once we put them to the courts, the courts will then dispense justice. We leave that to the courts.
Meanwhile, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe has condemned the killing, drawing parallels between Arnett's murder and the recent execution-style killing of alleged gang leader Mario Brown, a constituent of his. Monroe says both attacks show a disturbing pattern of how violence from criminal elements that remain a threat to public safety.
The video in Cooper's Terrace, those are somebody's children. The video at Dunmore Street and West Street, those are somebody's children.
These brazen murders have once again ignited national concerns, with officials and residents alike warning that the country is in the grips of a crime crisis, one driven by the illicit use of firearms. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Just startling, heart-wrenching, in fact, to look at those videos and just really shocked at the callous way the shooting took place. And of course, you saw in the image slightly blurred of the kid running away. First walking, I was just happy to see her run so fast. Then she realized what was going on. But we're going to get right into it because so many people, I received calls from around the nation on Saturday. Shanique, something must be done. Forget about all the other agendas being pushed. The agendas, whether they come under the umbrella of marital rape or any other rape, whatever those agendas are, deal with that right there, crime, because that is the thing that has the potential to destroy this nation, its #1 industry, and continue to erode the quality of life for Bahamians around this nation. We're going to get into that discussion this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. So
Janet.
it's a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you both. You saw that video. It's not the first time we've seen a video of such shocking nature where crimes were committed and captured on camera. Just your thoughts on how that played out, and then to see a kid first not aware quite of what's happening, and finally when she realized, thank God she had the wherewithal to run in the opposite direction away from the hail of bullets quickly.
Shanique, this is another one of those circumstances where it appears, and not only it appears, it's a fact, that these thugs, and my prayers are with the family of the deceased, but these thugs are aware that the majority of them are not rotting in some prison cell up in Fox Hill. They recognize that the majority of persons charged with murder is on the street either being murdered or murdering more persons. So the fear of being locked up and arrested, all of that is gone from them. That is fearless. And so those persons who would talk about various types of punishment is not a deterrent because these people are not experiencing any of that.
You know, you're right. I have a junior panel, Leslie and Ellington, and I hope to get them on this week. They said that's what's trending now among the first-time voters and millennials and the youth of the Bahamas. They could care less about crime, the punishment of crime, or the fact that, hey, they'll be caught and punished. Why? Because what's a joke? The judicial system.
6 out of 10 go free.
I end up before the court.
6 out of 10 criminals?
6 out of 10 murderers go free.
Yes, yes, they go free until the time of their demise on the streets. Okay?
6 out of 10.
And so 9 out of 10 times, if you could beat the streets, stay out of harm's way, your case ain't coming up within, like the Prime Minister alluded to, that to deal with the backlog is about 20 years. You be living your life at large. This is how most of them thinking. They're not thinking that they're going to die. They're thinking, I'm going to get the rest of them. I'm going to deal with this, and they're going to conquer it. And so there is no fear of the redress. There is no fear of the law. They take being locked up, and as a matter of fact, the parade before court and their pictures in the papers.
The 3 meals, the 3 meals, and now BTVI going to the prison, and so they're picking up skills.
It shows them as heroes.
Leslie, how dangerous is this to hear the mindset and the narrative among a certain sector or demographic of Bahamian society that they ain't afraid of what the punishment potentially can be?
Listen, we thought that we've seen the worst of the worst, eh? And every time we see something new, this one is worse than what we saw before. The problem is, the average fella down the streets, the hoodlums that's out there, they realize that the chances of them going to jail is in their favor. Most cases with murder take as much as 20 years. My son was killed in 2002. It is now 2025, and the case ain't come back up yet.
Don't wait for it.
What the hell are you talking about? I got the ability to make it happen. But you just wait and see what the States does. These fellas out there, what's going on in the country. They don't fear nobody because there's nothing to fear. The only fellas who are dealing with them is the guys on the streets. When they come out, at some point in time, the guy's going to take them out. Like this young fellow who got killed on Saturday. I'm told now that he was not the intended target. It was the other guy, because the other guy is out on bail for 2 murders. So they went to take him out because he already killed 2 people. Unfortunately, a young man with a young child, I give my sympathies to the family. His mother, his father, especially his sister, who spoke about him today. But that's life in the Bahamas now. What are we going to do? Those 3 guys, the fellow who put 4 bullets in his head, at point blank range. If he was to be found guilty, what are they going to do with him? He ain't get hanged.
5, 6 years.
What's the purpose?
I'll tell you, the Bahamian people, if those who are in the position of power don't pay attention and put their ears to the ground and listen to what it is the Bahamian people are demanding, then they will obviously be sadly mistaken, because the Bahamian people want quality of life returned and want that kind of mayhem that's happening on the streets to stop.
It absolutely needs to stop, because Shanique, that 4-year-old girl will never, ever be the same. I pray God that her family is able to give her, and I think the state should pick this up, make sure that she have adequate counseling, and make sure that she's on the right track and she can overcome this. Okay? Maybe we need to take it upon ourselves, and I hope we could get some citizens together, and we need to begin to rewriting and amending writing some amendment for these legislation to help these people that are in Parliament, because obviously they've went to lunch and they're not back yet. This is serious. This is destroying the very fabric, the very fiber of our nation. We're going to wait until it's over the cliff, and then we're going to be all in an emergency mode trying to rescue it like many other nations in the region.
You say wait until it's over the cliff? You think
We're on the cliff.
Where the cliff is?
We're at the edge, at the tipping edge. And we yet still have some things going. Our number one industry, while it's struggling, it's doing pretty good with visiting people. But brothers and sisters, my fellow Bahamians, we cannot continue in the same manner. This will be our demise if we don't rescue this and take this in control.
Prime Minister Davis addressing a packed Haitian congregation in Abaco over the weekend as he emphasized the cordial relationship between those of the Haitian diaspora and Bahamians. During his address, Davis gave congregants a history lesson on how far back both Caribbean countries have developed diplomatic ties, even as the Bahamas continues to see a growing number of Haitians seeking residence and refuge in New Providence, Abaco, and other family islands.
Our first member of parliament of African descent, the first black, who became a member of parliament, was a Haitian. Of Haitian descent. His name was Stephen Delet. This means that the Bahamas has enjoyed a cordial and I dare say special relationship with Haiti for over more than 1 century. Of course, over a century ago, the first consul to the Bahamas from Haiti was appointed, thereby establishing formal diplomatic ties.
I'm wondering what was the occasion. But let's continue, and then we'll talk about it. Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Raming, telling Eyewitness News that the Prime Minister's visit to the Haitian faith gathering was also about admonishing them to play a greater role in preserving Christian values as the country wrestles with a number of social ills.
The Prime Minister, as you're aware, has received invitations by tens of churches and faith group organizations throughout the Bahamas. The Prime Minister should make it an effort to try to go to as much as he possibly can. As you're aware, both the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition was attendance to the service in Abaco. And it's a matter of policy, not a matter of policy, but I think a matter of practice. Prime Minister's message was primarily aimed at focusing on the need for religious communities to play a larger role in nation building.
And so there you have it, Leslie and Ellington. Do we need the Prime Minister to address a Haitian congregation? I mean, for them to uphold Christian values and help, I guess, observe the rule of law in the Bahamas?
Well, Shanique, when I saw this, I was concerned about it, and upon investigation, I learned that this was some conference of Haitian churches in the Bahamas, a group of people that have been among us for any number of years, more than my lifetime, I'm sure. And what I've learned is not just something that the Prime Minister attended. It was an event that was attended by both the Prime Minister, leader and of the opposition and deputy leader, their chair, former Free National Movement member of Parliament for Abaco.
All of our elected officials were there trying to show good face.
Well, yes, it was an event that they were invited to. It was the church's conference. and rightfully so they were invited to it and they were speaking to
so
it.
they're obviously the Prime Minister Davis saying, listen, continue with this sort of Christian trajectory and observing the faith.
Absolutely,
Christian faith.
And hopefully what the Prime Minister was saying could go a long way in assisting us with even dealing with illegal immigrants, holding our pastors
What
accountable.
illegal immigrants?
Accountable.
Listen,
to see holding pastors
to see
accountable.
the leader of the nation. What pastors? Them Haitian pastors could do anything with their boys doing stuff.
Holding.
Ellington, please stop, because when
Anybody-
Ellington, the host, I am the host and I'm speaking.
Anybody.
When the Prime Minister goes and speaks to a congregation, that right there says, come one, come the next.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, because if these are people that are Bahamians of Haitian descent, it's a difference of illegal. And see, the Prime Minister has a duty to ensure with them that they hold themselves accountable and not encourage illegality, not encourage their brothers and sisters to continue to come here legally.
They can stop anything from happening. You really?
Well, we have not been able to forget them.
They probably opened the opportunity and the doors for them to come and sneak right into Abaco. Leslie, your thoughts about that service and the fact that all the elected officials were there, all.
I didn't see anybody. I didn't even look at it.
According to Ellington said.
Yes, good sources that they were there.
I don't know what to say. If they had the convention, then I guess they had the convention. You know, the country's right now absorbing more than our share of illegal immigrants in our country.
The Prime Minister said that.
More than our share. And President Trump has indicated that between now and August, he's going to send back 500,000 Haitians.
Illegals.
He made that clear. 500,000.
Illegals.
He said 500,000. If you got thing or not, he's sending you back. I assume he can send half of them here.
No, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that.
We took them before. In 2000, we took a whole crew of them. We'll see what happened this time. I don't know what the situation is. I mean, you know, they are here. And they will be here, I guess, as long as we do what we're doing now. They're going to make babies. They make babies twice a year, so what the hell are they going to outdo us anyhow? So good luck to the brothers and the sisters. I could be around. I could be up the road. So
This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back
I try
right
to talk
after
with
this.
them people, man.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Rejuvenate, refresh, treat yourself. Immerse yourself in total comfort. Pamper yourself. After all, you're worth it. Relax. Rid yourself of all life's stresses. At Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa, you will find everything you need to enhance your body and spirit. Call today at 323-6711 and begin your journey to serenity at Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa.
Hello, ambitious women. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? This is your chance to shine. I'm Adriana Fox, co-founder of the Fox Foundation.
And I'm Adriel Fox, legacy advocate of the Fox Foundation.
We're thrilled to announce the second annual Women's Entrepreneurship Episode Grants Initiative, created to empower and support women like you who are making waves in the business world.
This year, we're offering $75,000 in grants to female entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas in undersaturated markets and industries that have yet to reach their full potential. Our top 3 prizes are $25,000 for first place, $20,000 for second place, and $15,000 for third place. In addition, 7 runner-ups will receive $2,000.
We encourage businesses such as those in digital markets like web innovations, AI-driven service, niche e-commerce, or emerging industries such as green technologies, health tech,
cultural tourism, and personalized educational platform. Whether you're launching a startup, scaling your business, or tackling that big idea that needs a financial boost, this grant is for you. Last year, we funded 10 incredible entrepreneurs, and this year, it could be you.
Imagine what you could achieve with the funding to grow your dreams.
Apply now and join a powerful community of women entrepreneurs leading the way. Applications are open from January 31st to February 28th. Don't wait. Visit our website for more information. This is your opportunity to break into a growing market and make an impact. Apply today and let's build a future of unstoppable women entrepreneurs together.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Royal Caribbean Group, the developer of the new Royal Caribbean Beach Club project on Paradise Island, is facing scrutiny from Bahamian businessman Toby Smith, who recently accused the company of going back on its commitment to involve Bahamian businesses in the hotel development. Smith, who was engaged in legal wrangling over the land near the project site, shared videos on social media last week to support his claims that the development is not prioritizing a Bahamian labor force. Take a look.
Stay felices. ¿De dónde está usted? De Mexico. Qué bien. Y trabajas con Royal Caribbean, ¿no? Yeah, you proud of that? Royal Caribbean. Yeah, all these Bahamian jobs they've been promising was just a... Indonesia. Yeah, look at the size of this wall they built. And they gone over, smashed up all the bush. Look at all the vegetation that used to be like this. Okay, trees, bushes. There was wildlife. There were a heron colony. There was all sorts of wildlife over here, and they smashed it down and scraped it and done away with it.
Well, there you saw that video, person speaking what appears to be Spanish. And in fact, I'll put the question to the president of Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines Bahamas, Philip Simon. Philip, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Good evening, Shanique. Good to be here. I came right away.
I'm so happy that you did, because many people were wondering about Toby's video and like, listen, wait a minute, is Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines not Bahamian friendly when it comes to engaging Bahamian, in this instance, contractors and construction workers? What language was that?
I'm not sure what language Toby was speaking. And I'm not sure which language the person was speaking. But to answer your question, and just to get straight to the heart of the matter, we have kept all of our commitments relative to the beach club. We've said it over and over. In fact, persons can go to our website. They can go even right now if they're watching this. Plug Royal Beach Club at ParadiseIsland.com. You can see all of our economic commitments. You can see all of our environmental commitments. You can see the long process that we've gone through. In this specific instance, we have always said that we will hire only Bahamian companies, and we will hire 100% Bahamian staff to operate and manage the beach club.
So those men, the construction workers we saw in that video, they are employed by Bahamian construction companies?
Yes, they are Bahamian companies that we've employed to construct the Royal Beach Club on Paradise Island.
So then it's the Bahamian companies who have engaged them to get the work done?
We have provided contracts to Bahamian companies, right? And the short answer is yes. We provided contracts to Bahamian companies under very specific terms to deliver a product to us on time.
On time.
On time.
Done right first.
Absolutely, at the quality and the standards that we expected to happen. And so within their remit to execute that contract. And so they have obviously engaged individuals to execute according to the
help
contract.
them meet the goals of Royal Caribbean and its project on Paradise Island. Well, are these Bahamian construction companies employing any, because what we saw there, perhaps as you were describing now, is maybe misleading. Are there any Bahamian construction workers?
The majority of employees on the site are Bahamians. It's amazing. You know, you go to the corner of a development, and you see there's only a few persons that were seen on the screen, and you engage those persons in conversation. But the rest of it, which was in view, obviously, of the video, are Bahamians. You know, we have, I think, close to maybe 200 persons currently on the site. That number will grow over time daily. That are in the phase right now of horizontal construction. So we are moving very quickly to try to open in December of 2025.
This year, that's fantastic. And the majority are Bahamians.
The majority are Bahamians.
Wow, that is, yeah, you know, obviously you would imagine people were quite,
yeah, it is. Listen, it was a wonderful production. I was even kind of shocked by it.
No, it was. So we got what the agreement is during the construction phase, obviously to get the job done, but to employ and engage Bahamian construction companies, which you say you have, those persons are employed by those companies. Let's talk about Toby Smith, though. Toby Smith has had many headlines, not just this time and recently. It goes back a few years, talking about being squeezed out, being denied, being sort of robbed of this property on Paradise Island, where Royal Caribbean is now building something that's geared to employ quite a number of persons and provide various opportunities and spin-off opportunities. What's the real story there? Was he squeezed out by you all? Was he strong-armed? What is happening?
I can't speak to Toby's direct experiences. What I can speak to is the fact that it's a 17-acre development. 13 of those acres were privately acquired. 4 of those acres comprise of government crown land. 4, yeah? And none of those 4 acres overlap with any of the legal wranglings that are happening right now between Toby and the government. So there is no overlap. There is no conflict as far as we are concerned. And so we don't really comment on it.
And so what is the distraction to have him obviously being mischievous and trying to send out and give a different impression than what actually exists every day on that construction site?
That's a question you're going to have to ask him. I've asked him that question directly. We've had congenial conversations in the past, and I'm obviously very open to any conversation that Toby wants to have with me.
So let's talk about the project. Let's talk about this opportunity that's taking shape on Paradise Island, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, where you are the president for the Bahamas and that project there. Let's just talk about what's taking shape right now and what is the status of to meet the December deadline.
We're hustling. We're making haste, to use Bahamian lingo there. We are currently still in the construction phase, obviously. And so the pools are being poured right now. We're working to strengthen and also build seawalls. You know, it's going to be obviously 3 pools and 2 beach development. It's the ultimate beach day at Paradise Island, nothing complicated. We'll have 10 bars. We'll have 3 QSRs or quick service restaurants. We're making this thing as uniquely Bahamian as possible. We want to infuse culture, Bahamian culture, in every inch and every aspect of that. Persons would have seen, I think last week or week before last, we would have posted to the website dozens of opportunities for RPs. The commitment is still there. We're hiring Bahamian companies, and all of our staff will be Bahamian staff hired by us. And so we're going through that process right now. The search is, we're going to make some announcements shortly relative to our general manager, our director of finance and accounting, HR, et cetera. So we are in the process of hiring. If they go to the website, they'll see dozens of potential business opportunities. We are outsourcing all of the service operations to Bahamian companies, all of the service operations.
So it's a unique opportunity to empower Bahamians, to get people maybe even started in new ventures.
Yes, absolutely.
While they partner with.
And those are things that we want to do. We've had conversations and meetings with the creative community. Again, listed on the website, you have food and beverage, you have landscaping, you have engineering, you have security, and the list goes on and on. Anything to do with operating the site, we are outsourcing to Bahamian companies. It's a very unique, in fact, I've never seen quite a model like this, and hopefully we can duplicate it. And then on top of that, up to 49% of the equity in the project will be obviously available for Bahamians to invest in, along with the government's percentage, obviously, for the equity of the Crown land. And so we're pushing very hard. Again, all of this is listed on the website. 1% of the gross revenue of the project will go back to help improve attractions in the downtown area, because obviously we all know we need some work in the downtown area.
That is what I wanted to talk about. How will this overall further enhance the overall tourism product appeal and draw to the Bahamas, where the complaint still is, what else is there to do? And then obviously you mentioned the impact on downtown itself.
We have an excellent product in what we call downtown Nassau. Very few ports in the world come directly into a city center, and they come right to our doorsteps. But we know we got work to do. We have heard the complaints that say, well, Royal Caribbean is going to be diverting, visitors away from downtown. We will only be able to take between 700,000 and possibly 1 million guests per year. By 2027, we will have an estimated 3 million passengers that will come. That's just us. That's not including the other cruise lines. So where are these people going to go? And so it's a great national opportunity. I wouldn't call it a problem for us to solve. And of course, we want to get them off the ships. We want them to enjoy the culture of the Bahamas, whether they are at the beach club or certainly within downtown and the surrounding areas of New Providence.
It's really awesome. Now, how many jobs you're looking to fill? I know that you're very soon will announce some executive positions so people can begin applying for those. But once it's all sort of like filled out and every area plugged in.
Yeah, over 400 jobs will be available through the various partnerships, including direct employ of the beach club itself. So between hundreds of jobs and dozens of business opportunity, I really honestly see it as a win-win-win for all of us.
Let's talk about how this day away experience will look. It's sort of somewhat branded as that as well, so that tourists again can have this diversity, have this diversity in the attraction of the Bahamas or to the Bahamas.
Without giving up too many of the secrets. Obviously the ships come in the morning, so by 8 o'clock the ships are here. It's a day excursion. They will disembark from the ships, and by the way, this isn't just, I got to say this again, this isn't just for Royal Caribbean cruise guests. This is open to Bahamians as well. Right?
Bahamians have an opportunity as well to go and have a day away.
Absolutely. It's a day excursion. That's a part of the business model. How could it not? It's a partnership with the Bahamian people. And so they would actually disembark. They would take off. We have 5 ferries that will bring them over because, again, the only way to get to and from the site is by ferry. They will come to the site. They will be greeted by that Bahamian culture. And you can imagine what that's going to look like from the minute they actually disembark from the ships. We have 3 different areas. That we have a chill area, we have a family area, we have a party zone. We have 40 plus cabanas. We will have the world's largest swim-up bar. We're going to call it the Floating Flamingo. There's a lot of things. You'll see it on the website that speak to it. And of course, at every turn, whether it's the music, whether it's the food, whether it's the art, whether it's the craft, this retains. It's all about the Bahamas.
Stamped Bahamas on there.
Absolutely.
And again, there's been so much complaint about diversifying this tourism product and the need for it. And this, what kind of flavor will this bring?
Well, that's it. We always talk about, we need to diversify away from tourism. Even from my Chamber of Commerce days, I'm like, let's diversify the opportunities within tourism. This is a really good example of doing that. When you talk of all the different service operations that Bahamian companies will be able to participate in, whether it's engineering, whether it's landscaping, whether it's food and beverage, whether it's musicians, etc. Everybody should have an opportunity. So go to the website.
I was about to please inform everyone.
It's www.royalbeachclub@paradiseisland.com. You go to the opportunities and partnerships page. You express your interest, you'll get an NDA to sign, we'll send you the RFP, or you can just contact me.
Yeah.
So there's tremendous opportunity. I know there's a lot of noise, but I think at the end of the day, this is going to be something really special that we're all going to be very proud to call our own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think certainly the tourism industry is looking forward to having something additional to be able to maybe whether it's tours, whether it's obviously getting some of those guests before they go back to the ship and all that stuff, getting them to see more of the Bahamas, more downtown, more of all what the product has to offer.
We will have very shortly. I won't say more guests than we can handle because we want to be able to handle them. And I'm not just talking about Royal Caribbean in this instance. I'm talking about the Bahamas. We're talking about the product, the cruise industry itself. There will be millions and millions of persons coming to the country, and we got to find some things for them to do.
We must absolutely. So this is really good. And how many Bahamian construction companies are employed now?
Well, right
engaged?
now we have two.
Two.
Yeah, we have two companies.
Two. As president
two GCs.
President of the Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines Paradise Island Beach Club, Philip Simon here, really kind of sort of just making very clear for all of us what's happening on Paradise Island in this construction phase of the project, and the fact that Bahamian construction companies are engaged, and they go and employ whomever it is that they wish, and that's what we saw in that video that went viral last week. Thank you once again, Philip. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, don't go anywhere, because I'll tell you this: if you are interested in maybe taking advantage of what he just talked about on Paradise Island, you want to stay tuned. Get yourself a pen and notepad, because the Small Business Development Center joins me after the break. Beyond the Headlines is backward after this.
International events and production, Alive, Bahamas Air, Everybody Wins Live, and Field of Vibes Bahamas Weekend presents
the Evolution Concert on Saturday, March 29th at Clifford Park, featuring Vibes Cartel and Friends.
Bahamas, Nassau, where is Saturday the 29th of March?
It's one of the biggest events to hit the shores of Nassau, Bahamas.
Get ready for Adi the Teacher, the Dancehall King, aka the World Boss, Vibes Cartel.
Real bad man, no Magdalena shot.
Log into our official airline Bahamas Air for travel specials. It gets better. We're also giving away a brand new Cybertruck.
And up to $50,000 in cash and prizes at the concert. Compliments of Everybody Wins Live.
Log into our website, feelthevibesweekend.com.
For tickets, tables, skyboxes, and more info.
Visit Ticket Flair or email intlevents242@gmail.com.
WhatsApp or call 1242-808-2369.
I remember Cartel I got it.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what I say, buddy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do? Check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
So you want a space But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. The Small Business Development Center has over the years made an impact in the country by helping small business owners access funding. The goal is to reach and empower those who might not be able to access funding through many other financial institutions. Well, this year, the SBDC is going further to help you realize your dream of owning a business. Executive Director joins me here, Samantha Roll, and she is joined by Aaron Brown. Aaron Brown is in charge of and to speak on the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities initiative that the Small Business Development Center is launching this year. So I tell you, they have everyone covered. No one is being left out. You all heard the last segment with the opportunities at Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines on Paradise Island. Well, I'll tell you this, you want to stay tuned. I told you that, get a pen and notepad. Let's just move forward. So ladies, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening. Thank you.
So, Managing Director, let's talk about the work of the SBDC over the years to support businesses and help them, sort of maybe fine-tune their business idea and then to access funding.
Yes. So, Shanique, the SBDC over a number of years have been able to provide support not only in funding, but also in capacity building, strengthening the ecosystem in terms of connecting small businesses to strategic partners, connecting small businesses to medium-sized businesses to do business together. And so we have done that over the 6 years that we've been in existence. I think the past few years we've really evolved into making sure that we provide these innovative programs that are inclusive. Hence, the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities program that we announced last year, and we are currently in the process of that program. And
that is really super, because never before has there been something just sort of tailor-made to reach those who ordinarily might feel excluded, might not feel like it's an opportunity for them, or they don't even have a right around the table. But this is what the SBDC is doing in 2025. Let's talk about this. Aaron Brown, of course, you are widely known as somebody with a disability, someone who is actively doing things, though, and want a piece of the pie yourself. Let's talk about this Entrepreneurs with Disability initiative.
Yes, so the Entrepreneur Disability Initiative by Small Business Development Center has launched last year, December, has brought a new feel, a new experience, and a new type of access. Access is a human right, and a lot of times we try to think about, well, how do I be accessible? How do I be inclusive? Well, we are showing you in real time. So not only am I a disability inclusion consultant, I am the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities Accessibility Chair and Commissioner, but I'm also a mentor. A part of this program is they have disabled and non-disabled mentors who are taking charge of about 9 or 10 mentees that we meet with weekly. So we're not only giving them the tools through the Blueprint module to follow at self-pace between the 5 weeks, but we're allowing them to join a masterclass every week where your mentor is facilitating that, and we're speaking to them one-on-one. So we're really talking about not only the gaps, but what are their experiences, what are their angst, what are their challenges, and we find solutions tangible solutions for them to use.
This is awesome. Let's further explain so that the person out there hearing this and seeing it for the first time and realizing the opportunities that are continuing to become available in the Bahamas, how will this Entrepreneurs with Disabilities initiative really work?
Well, how it works is you need to show up. You must show up. So those who are eligible are persons who are thinking about a business, probably started a new business, or have already been in business. And so you are now looking for grants, you're looking for loans, you're looking for opportunities for funding. So what this allows you to do as an entrepreneur with a disability, and you know, the name is very specific because for a very long time, we haven't had access to self-identify very proudly, to be able to be counted as our authentic self.
This is really historic, Erin.
Yes.
I mean, I know that I want you to just really talk about just that for a moment. I mean, just break it down. Come down from from being the one who lead it. Talk about the fact that for the first time ever, seriously, persons with disability are being singled out, highlighted, recognized, and saying, come, you have a seat around the table.
And Shanique, I love the word highlighted, celebrated, recognized, because that's exactly what's happening. We know that there is a lot of negative stereotypes when you have the word disabled or disability, but we want you to know it's not a bad word. It is a part of you and your characteristics. So we're not only celebrating it, we're empowering you to do something in your own way. In our terms, we say equitable. You know, we hear a lot of these terms and we try to figure out, well, what does that mean for me? It means that we're looking at you authentically as a disabled business owner, professional, entrepreneur, or just an innovator, because they exist. Innovation starts from the basis of access and disability inclusion. So yes, Shanique, this is not only historical, but this is about you. Are you not tired of not hearing or seeing persons like you? Who look like you, who have the stories that you have? We have mentees who have been in business over 40 decades, like 4 decades, and they've been successful, and they show up in all of their disability characteristics, and they are not only powerful, but they are successful.
Managing Director role, let's talk about the success you have seen so far from this initiative, because it's something that unique. It is really sort of historic, not even sort of, it is historic in the country. What's the success been like so far? It's only been like a month or and a half or so, but let's just talk about it.
So we've had over 60 persons signed up to participate in the training. And so they have done the training, this being the last week of the training component. So the other aspect of this, though, it's really about the awareness campaign. So the awareness campaign helps us to understand that there is legislative framework around the Equal Opportunities Act that enables persons with businesses to employ persons with disabilities, because we need to get around or get out of that stigma that exists as though persons or differently abled individuals have challenges with actually being employed, and they do not. The other aspect of that is that we think would be tremendously successful is how do we then also reframe our current policies around entrepreneurship. So we know that the state provides invalidity benefits, invalidity assistance to persons within the community. What we now need to do is to be able to provide that support while empowering those entrepreneurs. And I think that would be an even greater success.
Just so that we have an understanding, I mean, I remember being a reporter and persons with disability complaining at that time that how can they access Parliament, for example, to go and see and sit in the gallery and maybe just, you know, first time experience that. So let's just talk about what are some of the unique challenges that persons with disabilities face when it comes to starting a business, successfully operating a business in the Bahamas.
Yes, so there's a lot of systematic barriers and that exists when it comes to not only acquiring financial support, but also just accessing a lot of the applications. Being able to go into buildings if you're using a wheelchair, if you're using adaptive equipment, if it's on the second floor instead of the first floor. How are we enabling persons or giving them access to truly come into these spaces? If you are deaf and you cannot, and it is not viable or beneficial for you to pick up a phone, dial a number, and speak to someone. How are we ensuring that inclusive education or inclusive communication is being used? And so what I love about what the executive director spoke about is legislation and policy, because we do need policy reform, as we've heard already, across the board. But now when you're talking about the economical or the financial stability of your nation, we need to prioritize and see where the gaps are. And currently, for the marginalized groups like persons with disabilities, it is so vast. For as simple as applying or registering your business, if you are receiving benefits, you no longer get those benefits. And it's because there is a gap. Like invalidity is you cannot work at all, or industrial accidents, you will receive disability benefits. But if you are in that gray area in the middle where you didn't have a work accident, or you can work, so therefore you cannot qualify for invalidity, there is no support. There is no support for that person. And so we put them in either one or the other, which disfranchise them. So we need to understand that even though legislation takes a minute, policies and practices can happen within 24 hours if we sit down, and NIB has been so powerful in this discussion on how do we change our practices and our policies, whether internal or external, that will benefit and educate not only our non-disabled employers, employees, businesses who are hiring these persons, but also the entrepreneur, the business owner, the person who is actually looking for these jobs, applying for these jobs. What is available for them to use?
Well, this is awesome, and I mean, obviously, to hear it now, this is blazing a new trail.
Yes.
But we know that laws have been passed. There have been, the Bahamas is creeping in the right direction. And so what exists now in terms of support for persons with disabilities who perhaps want to own businesses or operating small businesses right now? What sort of support exists?
At this time, the support that exists for disabled business owners is the equal support that has been provided along the system. So if you are able to go online and apply for your business license, there's no charge for that, you do that, you apply for your name, you approve for that, you turn in all your documents, you can get your business license, right? Once you don't have any disability benefits coming in, you're good, you're not worrying about any of that. So now what is your next step? How are you going to market? What are some of the specialized equipment you may need? Who are the persons out there that you can look to? We don't have that much visibility of persons that look like us, persons that have our lived experiences. So that's when it starts to become more challenging, because you're already saying to yourself that I know that I am differently able, as we all are. But where can I go that I know when I speak to you and you say to me, okay, Aaron, I need you to go to Ministry of Works and go on the 3rd floor to get this document. And me, as above the knee amputee, I'm going to ask, is there an elevator? There may not be an elevator. So there's a lot of different things that we have to face, even public transportation. If I don't have a vehicle or someone who can take me, what bus am I hopping on to get to these places? Who are physically there to speak to me as a customer service representative to now overcome or resolve all of those different communication gaps and challenges that we're facing? These are current things that we don't get to really talk about, because when we show up, we get the, why are you here? And we're here because we want to thrive. We are business owners. For those who can get around it.
For the most part, we generally still have that attitude. Like, but
yes, and why do you want to be here? So it's always, why are you here? And why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to be a business owner? Why do you want to be a mother? Why do you want to be an athlete? In our disabled community, there are just so many social ills and biases that we have to get through before we even could get to the door to say, hey, I am here, I need support, or I have the skills that you need, but where can I show up with that? I saw the ad, but how do I apply for that? Yeah.
So something else, Shanique, real quick. So, where can I show up? So SBDC, in partnership with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, we're hosting an Enable Forum and Expo. And so you could show up there. It is scheduled and planned for March 6th, and we have that at the University of the Bahamas. And, it's an opportunity to learn about these challenges and how we can assist each other in creating those enabling environments to where entrepreneurship is more inclusive.
That's really amazing.
Yes.
What was the driving force for SBDC to look in this direction and to say, you know what, there's a demographic of healthy, thriving, smart, intelligent, ambitious people with dreams and visions, but they just are slightly perhaps challenged.
Some of our strategic focus is around assisting those vulnerable groups or marginalized groups. And through various conversations with the president or chairman of the National Commission, we curated this program together. And it is important for us to do so in collaboration with these various groups to make sure that we are an inclusive Bahamas, to make sure that the economic impact is inclusive across all groups.
Absolutely, and as the economy expands, you heard of what's taking shape on Paradise Island with that new development and so many other spin-off opportunities and other islands that are experiencing tremendous growth, other family islands. You want to further impact, right, Madam Roll, Managing Director, Executive Director. You want to impact as many Bahamians as possible. I mean, you have been doing that over the last 6 years.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Kindly repeat where the seminar will be happening, at the time, maybe the location on the campus of University of Bahamas?
Yes, so it's the Enable Forum and Expo, and that's March 6th. It starts at 10 a.m. at the University of Bahamas in the Performing Arts Center.
How can people reach out to the SBDC?
You can locate us across our social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can email us at helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com. You can call us 461-7232.
Ladies, thank you very much. Congratulations to the SBDC in helping shape this nation as we move forward in the right direction by including Bahamians who before now were sort of almost made to say, listen, this ain't for you. Just sit over there. You can get your little monthly ding. But no. We are empowering through the SBDC anybody who wants an opportunity, who has a dream and a vision. Again, that is March 6th at the University of the Bahamas. You are invited to be so that you can be empowered and equipped with the right information and the tools to begin moving forward and making an impact in your own life in 2025. I thank you very much, the Managing Executive Director of the SBDC, Samantha Roll. Of course, Aaron Brown, who is heading the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities Initiative at the SBDC as well. Thank you both very much. Congratulations. Excellent initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by this evening.
Thank you.
I want to thank at the top of tonight's show, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Of course, in the middle of the show, we saw the president of the Royal Caribbean International Beach Club Initiative on Paradise Island, Philip Simon. And of course, these ladies right here to wrap up the show. Thank you both once again. And I want to thank all of you this evening for tuning in. We certainly enjoyed having you along and look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.